My parents blew my inheritance on my sister's lavish wedding. I threatened to sue. Growing up, I never thought I'd have to fight my own family over money, but here we are. Let me set the scene. My great-uncle was hands down the coolest person in our family. In a culture where no one really cared if the boys got an education, he thought it was total crap and made it his mission to change things. He lived in London with his mom, got himself educated, went to university, and even became a doctor. He didn't stop there though. He moved to the US with his wife, and they built a great life together. But the thing is, he never forgot where he came from or what the boys in our family were dealing with. He saw how everyone acted like boys didn't need to go to school, just get a job, support a family, and call it a day. My great-uncle thought that was stupid. So he used his own money to set up savings accounts for all his nephews and grandnephews to make sure we had a shot at going to school even if no one else cared about it. He really believed in us, and I always thought that was pretty amazing. When he passed away, he left enough money for every boy in the family to at least get started on their education. The plan was simple. We'd use that money for college, and it'd help us get ahead in life. For me and my brother, it was like a safety net. My brother didn't really care about it though. He got married 2 years after high school and wasn't interested in going to college. Fine by him, I guess. I was different. I worked hard in school, and when I finally graduated, I went to the bank to access the money my great-uncle had left me. That's when everything started to go sideways. I'd heard stories of people losing their inheritances or getting cheated out of them, but I never thought that it happened to me. I remember standing there, looking at the balance on the account and feeling like someone had punched me in the stomach. There was about $13,000 left in the account. Don't get me wrong. $13,000 is still a lot of money, but it wasn't even close to what should have been there. I knew something was up. I'd heard how much my great-uncle had set aside. And this? This wasn't it. I felt a mix of shock and anger bubbling up inside me. How could it be gone? I'd been planning on using that money for college, and now it was almost gone? I went straight to my parents. I mean, who else could have touched the account? It didn't make sense. They acted all casual about it, like it wasn't a big deal at all. They straight up told me they needed the money, like that explained everything. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Needed the money? For what? Turns out, they had used it to pay for my sister's wedding. You know, that super fancy wedding she had a couple of years ago that everyone in the family couldn't stop talking about? Yeah. They dipped into my college fund to pay for it. When they told me, I was beyond furious. I could barely believe it. Who just takes money meant for their kids' education and blows it on a wedding? My parents, apparently. The worst part? They acted like I was being unreasonable for being mad about it. They kept saying stuff like, it was for family, and your sister's wedding was important, as if that was supposed to make everything okay. I couldn't care less about how important the wedding was. It wasn't their money to take in the first place. My great-uncle left it for me to go to school, not for them to fund some over-the-top celebration. I felt betrayed, honestly. I had been counting on that money to pay for school, and now I was stuck with barely enough to cover anything. I was mad at them, mad at my sister, mad at the whole situation, but my parents didn't get it. They just shrugged it off like it wasn't a big deal. It was like they expected me to just suck it up and move on, but there was no way I was doing that. The thing that really got me was how casual they were about the whole thing. Like, they didn't even apologize. It was like they thought they had the right to take that money, and I should just be okay with it because it was for family. I wasn't okay with it, not even close. I had plans, and those plans didn't include taking out a ton of student loans because my parents decided to blow my inheritance on a one-day event. At that moment, I knew things were never going to be the same between me and my parents. The trust was completely gone. I couldn't even look at them without feeling angry. I wanted answers. But more than that, I wanted my money back. They told me I was being overdramatic, that I should just let it go, but how could I? This wasn't just about the money. It was about respect. They didn't respect me or what my great-uncle wanted from me. I didn't know what to do next. Part of me wanted to scream at them, but I knew it wouldn't do any good. They clearly didn't care how I felt.